Okay guys, HOA update. Okay, so I posted a little bit ago about how my HOA was going to make me move. Okay, and so far it's really quiet, so I don't know if we're going to have to move or not. So we might not. But let's give you a little backstory. The HOA in our neighborhood is literally $200 a year, very minimal. They don't really do anything. The only reason we have one is because we have trees across the street that we have to maintain. Anyway, so our neighbors next door, we've always had a really good relationship with them. I got them a Christmas basket, okay? Every year I give them a Christmas basket, and we bring them cute little things, you know, because I already know the kids are loud and they're crazy, and so I always like try to like keep the relationships good with the neighbors, right? I've always wanted to be like that neighbor. This is our first house that we've ever owned, so like I took it like to the nines, you know. I was like, yeah, I'm a good neighbor. Anyways, so they complained because like mostly there was like kids' bikes and scooters in front of our house that were left there overnight. We didn't wash the chalk off our sidewalks at night, which honestly, like, I'm not gonna wash the chalk off at night. Like, get real. I have 5 children. You think I'm gonna come out here every night and clean the chalk off the sidewalk? I don't think so. I gotta clean my house. Okay, so I'm not doing that. Okay, so I'm not rinsing off the chalk. That's not a thing that's gonna happen, all right? It just isn't. Okay, lip stain is my favorite. This one's called Playful. Okay, so you let that sit. Anyway, so HOA, I'm not cleaning up the chalk off the sidewalk. It's just not going to happen every night, okay? But then they were also complaining because, like, the HOA rules say that you have to have the side of your house cleaned up, right? Which is not really a big deal, but we had the lawnmower and a ladder and some, like, pots for potting plants and stuff. It's not even, like, it was very much, but apparently it was enough to just drive this lady's OCD crazy. So anyway, she was like, they need to clean up the side yard and they need to watch their garbage cans because they've left them out for longer than 12 hours after collection. And like, granted, like our garbage like company, they don't come at the same time every week. So it's like, unless you're like at home, which sometimes we are, but sometimes we're not. We have 5 kids, we're busy. And the neighbors down the street, they don't give a fuck either. They don't care. Sorry, they don't care. And so you'll see the garbage cans out until like the next day, like sometimes a couple days. Like sometimes people just aren't home. You know, it's not really a big deal. We've never lived in that kind of neighborhood. But apparently our neighbors next door, their OCD just took over and they're like, these people have got to go. That's not what they said, but they sent a text message to me telling me they just didn't know how to get a hold of me, even though they sent me a text message telling me that they didn't know how to get a hold of me, which is weird because it seems like you're getting a hold of me just fine to tell me that you think that my yard is the ugliest yard on the block and that, you know, I didn't want to have that image for my yard because I said when we first moved in, our yard was really, really like bad, like it needed grass and whatever else. So I planted grass and I fertilized it and like it's still nice, like, you know what I mean? Like it's really dry in Oregon right now, so if you don't water your grass, it doesn't stay green. But like my yard is still like full. It's not patchy. It's better than it was when we moved in. Is what I'm saying. But anyway, so I told her that and she texted me, I kid you not, she messaged me and she goes, I know you didn't want the image of having the worst yard on the block, but I just want to let you know that a few of the neighbors and I think that you have the worst yard on the block. And I know that's not the image you wanted for yourself, but that's where we're at. And I'm like, okay, so you texted me telling me that you couldn't get a hold of me to talk to me without filing an HOA complaint, like, you know, like a neighbor would, just talk to me, like I don't really care, I'll fix whatever you want me to fix, it's not that big of a deal. But then you texted me being passive aggressive, talking shit. And so I instantly was like, okay, well, that's not very neighborly. And so somebody beat me. I'm like, okay, well, that's not very neighborly. You know, the first course of action probably would have been just to text me and have a conversation, I said, because I have no issue getting any of this stuff done. I was like, I didn't realize that the ladder was bothering you. We put the ladder away immediately. You know, like we did everything on their stupid list. They sent us like bullet points. And one of the bullet points was my chickens. Okay, let me tell you, my chickens are going nowhere. I will fucking move before I get rid of my chickens. And so anyways, last weekend I made Corky go look at a house with me because I'm like, you know what, like I don't even want to live in an HOA. I have anxiety going outside now. I just feel like all my neighbors are judging me because I don't know which one of my neighbors she was cohorting with and talking crap with. So anyways, Corky decided to run for HOA president, and if he doesn't get it and we get any more complaints, I'm just gonna make him move because I'm not gonna do this. And we saved a bunch of money, and so like we have a little bit of equity in our house right now. So all we need to do is sell our house and we'd get right to move. And we live in a nice neighborhood. We live in a good school district. Like that was like the whole draw of this house. And like when we moved, we had to move because the apartment that we were living in, like this condo we were living in, they were not renewing our lease because her son was gonna move in, which is totally fine, you know. But like we were in a crunch to buy, and we wanted to keep the kids in the same schools they were already in. And so that's why we got this one. And now it's like oddly quiet, but my chickens are still in my garage, and I went and tinted my garage window so those people cannot see in them. So they don't know that we have the chickens still. We're getting rid of the roosters on Thursday, and I'm actually really depressed about it because Abby, our rooster, is one of the sweetest chickens that we have, and so. If only like he wouldn't crow and he could stay at Abby, then he wouldn't be an Andy and it would be fine. But unfortunately, he's starting to crow and we can't have that because it's against city ordinance. So we're just gonna follow city ordinance. And we're gonna see how far they want to take this because if they want to fight me, let me tell you, I didn't grow up in the neighborhood I live in now, and I'm not gonna back down without a fight. And so anyways, I guess what I'm saying is it's a fucking shit show, and I have crippling anxiety, and I built my chicken coop and I hid it under my deck so they can't see it. So my other neighbors, they don't care. They're super sweet. Like they're like the nicest people ever. The neighbors over here, they're like, you can't do what you want with your house. You didn't pay for it. Weird how I did, Karen. Weird how I did. Anyways, so that's kind of where we're at. But anyways, that's where we're at. And I am anxious to see what happens when I put my chickens outside. We're gonna keep the rest of the house. We don't even let the kids play up front anymore. Like, we don't let them play with chalk anymore. Okay, we're trying. We're doing our part to try to not, like, rock the boat, because, like, as soon as I put my chickens outside, I guarantee it's gonna be a thing, okay? And when this happens, I'm gonna go to war over my chickens, okay? And I had a friend of mine look over the contract for the HOA, the CCRs or whatever, the rules, and they're like, no, it doesn't say that you can't have chickens. It says that you can't have chickens for commercial use. And so they can just suck one as far as I'm concerned, because my chickens are my pets. They're not for commercial use. They don't even lay eggs yet, okay? And if they did, you couldn't have any because you're mean. So that's pretty much where we're at. And this is my makeup routine. It's pretty basic. Put a little bit of gloss over the top there. Throw a little bit of eyeshadow on, and it's all good. But anyways, that's the update I have for now. So wish us luck. Okay, boom, perfect. See that? You don't need 7,000 steps to look okay. And then you go like this. And a ponytail over the top so my hair would stay. And you can have curly hair. Ta-da, done.